evening, everyone. People are already rolling in. I don't know if it's because we're starting later or because we won our first Champions League game under Thiago Motta. Man, I feel good. I'm feeling great tonight, actually, quite well. Dash probably feels like shit. He's stuck in traffic. He's coming. But German Dave, how you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm feeling great as well, man. I It's not only the Juventus game, which was look, I missed the whole first half because I had a sporting event for work today, and we had like 17,000 like different people from different companies running a 5.5 kilometer run. So I was doing that right when the game started. So I was just watching the second half sporadically while driving. Never watch football and drive, by the way. Be careful with that.
That's how I watched the last game. Whatever. We don't condone it, but you do what you got to do.
Yeah. But yeah, got home, took a shower, put the other matches on, like watched the whole damn like as a what is it called? Like on in split screen mode. And my God, does it feel good to have the Champions League back? And honestly, it feels amazing to be among these clubs again. Dude, Real Madrid was playing. Bayern Munich murdered poor Dinamo Zagreb today in 9-9-2, and also got taken away like 2 goals by VAR, so it could have been double digits as well. I mean, my God, it was so fun today. Gyökeres again scoring for Sporting. Endrick putting away Stuttgart, like, and just got subbed in, I believe, 10 minutes before that, and then scoring from outside the box in his first Champions League game. Man, the storylines were amazing. And let me ask you that. Now that Yildiz is growing back his hair, does he have his flair back?
You think it's in the hair? Maybe. I don't know. Okay.
And Sir has a good point, of course. Liverpool just teaching Milan a lesson.
Did Chiesa play?
I
actually haven't checked yet. Actually, let me check.
No, I don't. No. He didn't play, but funny enough, yesterday on the Liverpool press conference, Arne Slot said he will at least be on the bench, and we will see like if he gets some minutes. But I think he's now close. Oh, he got subbed in. He played 3 to 4. Oh, I missed that honestly completely.
I mean, you can't catch them all, especially when you come in fairly hot, working all day as well. So, I mean, if you guys watch some of the other games, by all means, let us know about it. We will be opening the lines in a little bit. If you want to talk about some of the other games, by all means. But we're definitely here to talk about Juve. Missing a year. We missed a whole year of the Champions League, and it is back. And boy, did it. Oh, Yildiz. Absolutely phenomenal, that goal today. 21 minutes in, kicking it off. Just amazing. I'm almost speechless with that. And I do have to say, so I am on the road. I am Florida Day today. I failed to mention that. I am now in Florida, reporting to you live from the Orange State. It's the Orange State. What do you guys call yourselves down here? Jeff, where are you, Jeff? I'm in Bumfuck.
Iguana State. Alligator State.
I've seen a bunch of dead armadillos on the side of the road. But regardless, I'm here in Florida, and the amount of freedom that flies in the state is quite amazing. But I digress. And I do have to apologize. It might be hilarious. I don't know. So the hotel kind of ran out of some rooms. So I'm sharing a room until tomorrow. If my roommate comes in, we'll see. We'll see.
If you see, get him on the stream as well, man.
Yeah, maybe.
Is he an F1 guy? Is he an F1 guy?
He used to be. He's Dutch. He's a little bit. Oh. He played American football, semi-pro. So he's actually been teaching me. We watched the Ravens and the Falcons last night. He taught me some things. Like he used to work for the teams. Like he said, he used to watch 60 hours.
You mean Eagles and Falcons where my Eagles threw the damn game away?
Oh yes, yeah. I mean, Okay, we're not here to talk about the Falcons and Ravens, but yes, and that was actually funny. Jason Kelce with the Southern Philadelphia tracksuit, with the FIGC badge, the Italian Football Federation badge over the Eagles patch. That was actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
So today, I should mention, I did feel a little bit blessed. I had 3 of my coworkers in here, non-footy fans, sitting in my room. We had the game on. And going back to Yildiz, when he curled that one in, these 3 dudes that know nothing about footy were all like, "Oh my lord, that was fucking amazing."
It was amazing.
So when these guys that know nothing about the sport are like dropping their pants over this, know it was an absolute banger. Oh, and do we even mention what Twitter is comparing him to? Do we stoop to that? Because it was very.
I deleted my Twitter months ago, so I'm all out on that content. So enlighten me, please.
Oh well, you know what? Everyone knows who he's compared to with his
Oh
celebration.
yeah, I know that.
It's ADP. That was ADP-esque. He's got the number. He's got the backing. ADP did come up on Twitter today and just say, yeah, absolutely, man. It was beautiful. So what a great way. Just banging it off in the post. Man, I just don't know how to. It was the best goal. It was the best Juve goal since. Should we say like when Fagioli did that last year?
No, you forgot Weah's score with his
the BBC.
wrong foot. First game, I believe.
Was or the BBR, sorry, not a BBC.
Yeah.
Man. Just regardless, I don't care. It was absolutely
but this one had flair because he did a slight tilt with his body towards the right side, opened up towards the goal and curled it beautifully. It's for sure a goal that we will remember for a while.
Yeah. And Anthony here saying, Locatelli looks great under Monta so far. I watched Milan, and they were an absolute disaster. Man, Locatelli had a beautiful play into the box earlier, which we put bets. We talked about this in our WhatsApp group, how long we can go without mentioning this man, so I won't mention him yet. But, I mean, Locatelli did have a great game. Long balls, short balls, tracked back on defense, whatever. It's great. Danny here saying just hearing the anthem. Yeah, hearing the Champions League anthem coming in.
It feels good, man. And it feels right.
Yeah. Okay, here it is. Florida's the Sunshine State. So, yeah, that makes sense. Even though, I mean, it's been raining the whole damn time. So I don't know how much sunshine is actually going on around here. It is hurricane season. Another funny thing about Milan is watching Calabria stink up the joint while Kalulu balled out for us. Okay, let's start in the back. Let's pull up the FOT mod. Let's get through some players here. Let's start with Kalulu. Why not? He was solid. Many of you in the Discord, just over the internet, Kalulu has been glazed. I guess one of the this is how I look at it. He wasn't, I would say he was quiet this day. He was definitely balling up and down, but he wasn't one of those players today that completely stood out from the crowd. And that's to say that means he was doing his job. He showed up when he needed to show up. He stayed quiet and just ground out, just defensive solidarity. Just did his job exactly when he needed to. Overlap when he needed to.
Absolutely, and if you get a minimum a 7 as a defender, on your rating, FOTMOB has him ranked 7. I think Sofa score was close to a 7 or a 7 as well. I can get that up as well, but if you get a solid 7 as a defender every game, that's damn consistent and damn good. That means you didn't do any dumb mistakes, but also if you don't score as a defender, you're always somewhere between the 7 and 8. And he's right there, man.
Sofa's at a 7-2 and FOTMOB's at a 7-3. So that is a solid game already.
Yeah, it's solid. Yeah.
Okay, so Kalulu, lots of praise for him. I think he was a little bit more focused on today as well, because the contrast with Milan, like was mentioned, the fact that he's a bit of an unknown. He was our third choice in the Mercato, after Calafiori and Todibo fell through, and then we're like, oh, let's cut Kalulu. Oh, I'm not sure. I'll tell you in 24 hours. It ended up being like a day or 2.5 days, something like that. And he shows up and he's balling.
It's called being a professional, man. Like
Mhm.
right now we don't know where his heart is, but honestly, like if he puts up consistent performances, I can care less, because in the end of it, football is a business where you have to produce, and you have to produce good results. And if you do that, honestly, I don't care. Like I'm not one of those petty guys that's saying, oh, that goalkeeper has an inter past or whatever, and he loves like that and that goalkeeper more than that and that goalkeeper. Like I don't get into those discussions. Like in those things, I'm pretty pragmatic and straightforward, honestly. And hey, if he performs like this, hey, welcome on board, man.
Right. So Bones is requesting a soundbite. I'm not sure if it's for Yildiz, if this is for Kalulu, if it's just for like the anthem. I don't know what it is. You get to decide.
I'm gonna come.
There you go. You guys all know who that is. Okay, and I just got to digress here a little bit because I'm in Florida. I went to a surplus / gun shop. I don't know why. We have time to kill, so we go and do Florida things, right? So we go into these surplus shops just to see what kind of ridiculous things they have. And it was ridiculous. They had this full-sized flag with Donald Trump doing the hand pump after he got shot in the ear. Full-size flag, $10. That's it. It's like Florida. I love Florida. It's hilarious. This place is amazing. Everyone should visit it sometime. All right. Let's move on then. So we're definitely happy with Kalulu. Gatti, a little bit more quiet today, I guess you could say. But
I
I
haven't seen much of it, honestly. I can't comment that much on Gatti, honestly, because yeah, when I was watching the game, I believe he got subbed out around that time. So, and I missed the first half, so I'm not sure yet. I watched the highlights, but you don't see like center back movements like in highlight tapes that much. That's a problem.
I guess the best way of putting it is that he didn't have to do too much work today, which is a positive thing for your center back. There was times a bit later in the game where things opened up. Any time PSV did shoot, it was kind of weak, a little bit further out, direct onto Di Gregorio. He got a 6.8. That's because he didn't have to do a whole lot, honestly. We can pull up his stats here. So minutes played 57. He got a shot on net even. Yeah. 24 for 26 passes, 36 touches. Yeah, he didn't have to do much work today. 5 clearances.
92% ball pass accuracy, also very good.
5 defensive actions. Like that's it. 5 defensive actions. He didn't have to do much. So okay.
By the way, how crazy is it that all of a sudden, when you put the players into a different system, how they become actually good on the ball? Like of course, I'm not going that far to say like all the players are great on the ball, but damn, it's crazy to see how if you put them into different positions on the field, and if you open up the field a bit for Gatti and Bremer, how sure their passing becomes, man.
That's an excellent point, right? There was a bit of space, right? That's, I guess, one thing.
Yep.
If we're going to focus on PSV for a bit, they did allow a bit of space. I mean, we got 3 fairly open goals. Like Yildiz was able to just bang it in. And Bones is saying that the Trump soundbite was for Yildiz. So there you go. We will get to Cambiaso. There's Anthony's asking about him. We'll get to him just a second after Bremer. He played the full game. Again, just solid match. 93% pass. Yeah, 80 touches, 5 out of 5 accurate long balls, 3 out of 4 tackles. He did his job when he needed to do his job.
Absolutely. No mistakes.
Again, it wasn't until later in the game when we were basically putting it to bed, and then we kind of put it to bed too early, I guess is what you can say. And we kind of fell asleep, and they got that 93rd minute goal, right? There's like 25 seconds left on the clock.
And there was a sequence of them like getting 3 chances in and around the box, like in the last 2 minutes maybe. Like they had 3 shots, I think, on target in that sequence. I didn't like that because we kind of took it lightly, and like you said, we were sleepwalking the rest of the game basically, like taking no risks, no tackles, not risking any injuries or whatever. But yeah, it was a bit too passive, and the goal that they scored was way too easy. And I hope we don't see stuff like that anymore. But let's not be party poopers. About
Today we celebrate.
one goal. It's still all around an amazing game. Like the passing sequences, how Koopmeiners, like last week we had a bit like of criticism still because he wasn't that much involved yet, and he was still getting into rhythm. And today, like you saw his passing, how he was involving Yildiz, how he was passing to Gonzalez, and my God, Nico Gonzalez, man.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that. And Ruffle, I mean, we've got to find like a good nickname for this like congregation of consonants that you got going on here.
Just keep it at Ruffle.
Yes, it was probably Danilo's fault. Ruffles.
Ruffle is something. Just Ruff. Yeah, Ruff is nice.
Okay, Ruffles chips. That's a Canadian thing, I think. Anyways, okay. So yeah,
we have Ruffles in Germany, by the way.
Oh, do you? Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. It's gone out in the world. Okay, so we'll get to Anthony's question here. What do you guys think about Cambiaso at left back? He had a tough task against Bakayoko today. It was really good. Again, love this formation. Bakayoko was completely taken out of the match today. And that was Cambiaso's job, to cover him. And you know, I kind of felt stupid, right? Because I'm teaching these guys, you know, my coworkers here watching with me and trying to teach them the game. I'm like, oh yeah, Bakayoko, he's pretty good. He's an up and comer. You know, probably he's the biggest threat on PSV. Watch out for this guy. Completely taken out of the match. And 6.8 on the FOP mob. That might be a little bit disingenuous, of course. Okay, his passing was maybe not the best, but the fact that he just took the biggest threat out, you got to give him. I think he should at least be a 7 personally, but the algorithm, screw the algorithm. Just another solid performance. And again, going back to the fact that these guys changed position week in and week out. You put him in left back today, you know, you got that threat on the right wing, does the job.
Yeah, but that is the dynamism there that we need, honestly. But to go into the point and how he contained Bakayoko the whole game, basically. Number one, like Cambiaso and McKennie were switching really nicely, I think, on the left side, because McKennie was help defending a bit as well. So Cambiaso wasn't isolated the whole time against Bakayoko. And to contain him, honestly, it's an incredible job. And yeah, by the way, I know what those letters mean, or what the
but I'm not going to say that every.
But I'm not gonna say the whole thing every time. No,
just like Gunpatro, because it's like Japanese thing. I just call him Chiro, right? Like I got to keep it quick and fast. You know me. I give you guys nicknames. If you get a nickname, it's because you're loved.
Yeah. And no, and Bakayoko, to contain him, is honestly an incredible job, because he is basically, the best comparison. I think lots of you guys in the chat have watched Jeremy Doku, for example, the Belgian winger at Manchester City, and how he is cooking like wingers, fullbacks the whole time with his speed, with his shiftiness. And he's not a great goal scorer, but he's causing chaos like all the time, and it's so hard to contain him. And Bakayoko is basically that, but on the right side on the field. and to contain him and to not have him or to not let him have any dangerous situations or dangerous one he wants is a great job, honestly.
Yeah. Now, before we hit the midfield, we should bring it back a little bit. Di Gregorio, I don't know why I just skipped over him. I was just so excited to get into Kalulu. Di Gregorio, he did his job when he had to. He wasn't really challenged, but the one thing that I really noticed today is the ball control. That whenever PSV was pushing up, trying to put some pressure on, the ball consistently went back to Di Gregorio. He handled that pressure. He got the passing. Let's see if they got passing stats for him here. Being a goalkeeper, accurate passes 23 for 32. So like 32 passes in a game for a goalkeeper. Yeah, I mean he was moving the
No,
ball.
that's great. And you have to think like lots of those are long balls as
Yes.
well. And if you have that kind of accuracy, like it's really good. Solid.
Yeah,
Solid all around.
And that goal right at the end, as we mentioned, probably Danilo's fault, left that gap. So can't really knock Di Gregorio. It hurts that you can't give your keeper a clean sheet after a performance like that. But
yeah. And in the dying minutes of the game, you don't want that to happen. And goalkeepers are the ones that get angry and that. And I can kind of understand that because honestly it's hurting their stats as well. But hey, so far so good. Like we don't concede a lot of goals, and you
that's
can
our first goal conceded all season.
And you can eat a goal like that. Like it happens, shit happens.
Yeah.
Like move forward.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go forward up the pitch here with Big Mac here, the master of the ranch dressing, the fried chicken. The guy that had his locker moved, his parking spot taken away.
Dude, that's crazy.
And here he is. Here he is banging in a goal. Solid performance. And it was mentioned in the press conference afterwards. Just he's out there, he's working hard. It's the behind the scenes stuff that I think we need to focus on. Yeah, I mean, today was a great game, but Mata would not have put him in if he wasn't just given it on the training pitch day in, day out, just trying to prove that he deserves to be on this team. And I think today he did prove that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you have to think like you have with Cambiaso on the left side a finesse player. Yildiz is a finesse player. Koopmeiners is an absolute like finesse player. Even Nico Gonzalez on the right side, you can argue finesse. Kalulu is not like a big like physical guy, like a finesse player. And McKennie, like you can argue, is maybe one of those, maybe the player that is doing like the most of the dirty work, and he already did that last season. And honestly, I don't think any of us would have wanted him out, like if he didn't cause like problems in the off season for the team and for himself, honestly, because it nearly costed him his job at the club. But
yeah, and
in the end,
I'm almost sorry.
Oh, I just wanted to say, and now, like, if you show me performances like this, I'm all over that, honestly. Like, he's proving himself like he did already the season before in the off season, where he proved himself to be essential, honestly. And he's doing all the dirty work. Like, you will not see magic on the ball, but he's going up and down the field. He's slide tackling. He's winning the ball back, and his press today was perfect. Like winning the ball back all the damn time, and then passing it to Locatelli or to Yildiz, and those then work like can work with the ball like really nicely. Yeah, he did the great work, and honestly, he finally scored his goal. Like, do you remember when Vlahovic took one from him away last season, for example? I think that would have been his first and only goal. He didn't score, I think, the whole season. And now he got it, and it's the damn Champions League. And yeah, if you prove yourself, if you integrate into the squad and put your egos to the side, hey, this is what happens, man. Playing Champions League and scoring in the Champions League.
You know, I know Chiellini would be in the back offices there rolling underneath his desk, but this guy deserved a double bacon cheese ranch burger after this match. Get it into you, bud. You deserved it. Completely blue collar. And I'm happy for him. Honestly, just it's almost like it's like Rudy, that football movie, the American football movie, right? the little
Yep.
kid that he's got to grind it out and make the team, and he finally makes it. And yeah, it's a movie. You can make a movie about this guy. Essentially, that's what I'm saying here. Definitely deserved it. So let's move on to the right then. Locatelli, another
Amazing.
7+ performance, consistency, 91% passing.
Yep.
And again, some of those long crosses into the box, ball movement, switching the phase of play.
Do you know what I think is the best about his development that we saw in the first games? He didn't show that much in the preseason, but damn, he finally has confidence back. Do you remember how many times we saw him like last season, like hiding behind behind other midfielders to not receive the ball, like in areas where he can then exploit the space in front of him, because he wasn't like daring or trying the deadly pass, because I don't know if it was mental or if he was actually scared, or if Allegri didn't want him to do it because of the risk of losing the ball. But he's
I think
finally
so.
trying those dangerous passes, those
He's
passes
been
that slice
allowed.
the defense through balls. Like, honestly, it looks like he is mentally completely back, and I love seeing it, man. And with him being fully switched on mentally, like now look at the midfield rotation, because we were counting him out, like sitting him on the bench already, because we thought Douglas Luiz like took his spot away. And honestly, it's an open fight, and I love that because it it ensues like competition in the team. Everybody's fighting for for their spot, and that means like everybody wants to prove themselves, and that only benefits the team if every player is switched on for every single game.
Loving it. And we've kind of been preaching that too. It's just, you need the rotation, you need that competition. And the
Yeah.
fact that you can start McKennie and Locatelli in your midfield on a Champions League game.
Yeah.
What else could you ask for? Especially when you
And winning the game. Number one, controlling the game, controlling the midfield, and winning the game without any risk. Crazy.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to our attacking midfielder slot there, with Koopmeiners taking that kind of number 10 role, if you will. It's just, he had a solid game, and he said it in the press conference as well. He's still not at 100%. And he knows why. We all know why. It's because he had stress. Atlanta being a bunch of assholes. Whatever. But again, another 90-minute game. He had a couple chances, 2 shots, maybe not the best shots, not the best opportunities, but he's getting the ball out there. 31 for 39, 79%. I don't know. He got rated fairly high today. He's at a 7.8. I mean, this is one of those situations where I think maybe he got a little bit more than he deserved.
Honestly, I agree with the ranking, because I think like he was everywhere on the front line. Like, he was receiving the ball in beautiful areas, and he was passing it like into even more dangerous areas. Like, yes, he's not that mobile yet. He's not that physically that involved yet. But everything, like every ball he's touching, like you're expecting danger, and I like that. And also, like you said, like he had a couple of chances, and I think if he's completely switched on, and if you give him time to learn the system even more, to learn his teammate, to learn to play with his teammates even better, like honestly, it will be great. It will be great.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I really do want to point out. And I'm not trying to say, he played bad, he doesn't deserve. No, I would say maybe like a 7.5 as opposed to 7. Whatever. I mean, we're splitting hairs, but his engine, I think, is, and I did mention that today too to the guys. Just the way he's all over the place for a guy that is not at 100% fitness. This guy is everywhere. So solid, fairly blue collar. He definitely needs to work on. Well, according to him, his fitness, even though he looked amazing. But yeah, he needs to maybe capitalize a bit more on those chances, but definitely all over the place, getting the ball in dangerous spots. And of course, taking away the defensive coverage from his wingers, and apparently Vlahovic. We'll get to him. I don't want to get to him just yet. We're going to save it for the last. All right. So Coop, solid performance. Not on the score sheet quite yet, but the next two guys will be on the score sheet. Kenan Yildiz, we already mentioned him right at the beginning with that beautiful goal. Another youngest player for Juventus to score in the Champions League. So there's a record, team record anyways. 2 shots on net, 30 for 35% pass, or 30 for 35 on the passing. Again, he was kind of all over the place, taking on the defense, distracting the defense, opening up lanes for everyone. It almost doesn't even matter what he did. Everything was trumped by that goal. It's like nothing else matters. I know that's unfair to say that, but nothing else matters. That goal was just amazing. I still don't have the words to say.
Oh, it was a great overall game. Like he was stretching the defense. He was keeping them, like they had to contain him with one guy, and he always was able to pull a second help defender on him, which created room for Vlahovic. And the one instance that I saw with the assist later on, honestly, exploited to perfection. Like he had the room, they were isolated. I think they had Eindhoven had 2 center backs left to defend the box, and that was a beautiful pass. I can't or a beautiful assist. I can't take that away from. And the finish from Gonzalez was beautiful. And that is also like possible because Yildiz stretching the defense and creating those rooms.
Yeah. And Bones saying a couple good crosses. Yeah, he did have a couple good crosses in there.
But that was regarding
all around. Yeah, just another all-round performance, honestly. He did get subbed off as well, of course. Rotation. You can't wear these guys off. All right, and Dash is in here. He's going to jump in a sec, just in time for our last guy. So we'll hit Nico Gonzalez, who is rated here as the man of the match.
Beautiful game, man.
Assist and a goal for a rating of 8.6. I mean, like just another all-round performance. Passing 79%. Obviously, he's going to be a bit lower because those are going to be high danger passes into the box. That's cool. Shot accuracy 1 for 2, so he gets a couple shots. 47 touches, successful dribbles. So 1 for 5, but he's taking on his man. Accurate long balls 2 for 2. Like he's kind of a bit everywhere, just like Yildiz, even though I didn't really go into his numbers, but similar, right? He's got the clearances, he's got the dribbles, he's got the duels.
He can shoot,
whatever,
he can
just
score,
everywhere.
he can pass it, he can dribble, he can sometimes take a defender on 1v1. He's not the best dribbler, but if he has space in front of him, he's really good. He's very intelligent in reading the game. And therefore good, really good, like when he's involved in the passing game, and he was that. And it's crazy how if you have a winger that looks up sometimes, how the whole front line benefits from that.
Welcome, Dash. That was traffic.
Hello, Michigan, Dave.
Dude, I don't know. Sometimes that bridge just gets absolutely swamped, and I have to deal with like the traffic out of it. I don't know. Maybe everybody said F Windsor. I'm getting out of there for some reason, but yeah, I am here. Probably at the worst timing ever.
Oh my god!
Just in time. Yeah, we covered the 10 starters.
Oh damn it!
And now we
we had the final guy.
I'm leaving. I'm done. No.
Dusan Vlahovic.
No, we're calling him Christoph Piontek because that's what he is at this point. Jesus Lord.
So he got a 7.5. He does have an assist.
No, he doesn't. Like, okay, great. Like, fantastic. I'm pretty convinced that was a shot that ended up being a pass. I can't. Like, yeah, I had people sit there and tell me this guy, like, I legitimately stopped the game, had to rewind the McKennie goal. It's like the dude didn't even touch the ball. The PSV guy poked it to McKennie. Dusan was already flopping. He was already flopping on contact.
Oh, I did. I mean, it looked good in real time.
It looked good in real time. I watched the replay and I'm like, oh. But
yeah, now the duels number. This is, I think, where
at this point, does Koopmeiners have to like legitimately hold Dusan's hand, put the ball at the goal line, and have Dusan still miss it for some reason?
You just let Yildiz and Gonzalez and Conceição and those guys do it themselves, and Koopmeiners can score as well. Like play around him.
You wanna know why Koopmeiners' rating is higher than you guys might think it is? Because a certain meathead above him missed everything. Good Lord. I don't know. I don't want to sit here and drag this on about him. My thing is this guy's a bum. Absolute bum.
Yeah. We're trying to be positive. We were very positive.
Everything else was great. Everything else, legitimately, everything else
was a beautiful game.
Fine.
That's what I'm saying. I have zero problems, maybe besides like the 93rd minute goal, because defense was asleep there.
Yeah, that's it.
Like
legitimately.
Swiss cheese. But dude, 92 and a half minutes. Beautiful football, man. Like all around.
But like it's gotten to the point where I'm sitting here contemplating, like, fuck, should we have kept Keane? He has 4 and 5. He has 4 and 5.
But the problem is if you keep Keane, you still have Vlahovic on the roster, which means Keane wouldn't have seen the game time.
I don't know. Like look, you can say if you want to say that, oh, but he had 1 assist. No. He should have had 2 to 3 goals this game.
And this is the problem, right? And you can ask my roommate here who's lying on his bed how much I was yelling at the TV today about it. He is paid at the end of the day to score goals. Yes, does he track back? Yes, does he get into the mix and play the team game? Sure, he does. He has a bit of a completeness, generally speaking, to his game, except for the very thing that is his primary job, and that's to put balls in the back of the net.
I don't understand how he was getting bodied a lot today too. Like that to me.
Oh yeah, he flopped at one point.
Dude was belly flopping. Like he was just landing on his stomach. Like he just got like poked in the butt. Like it was bad.
Like starfished.
Yeah, just even the McKennie goal. That was him starfishing. Like he didn't even touch it. I just like for me, it's not a good thing where it's just like, oh man, well at least he got this, or at least no. It's been 3 years. There's no more. At least he's doing this. Like for example, with Koopmeiners, you can say, all right, at least he's getting into the game. He's getting acclimated. It's making sense for him. No. This guy has been here for 3 years. 3 years, and he is doing the same gaff after gaff after gaff. It's just now that the media and all these fucking pundits that make a shit ton of money are like, oh, maybe he's not that good.
Yeah, and he is. When you're looking at our team, he has been here longer than like 90% of the team. Like Danilo's been here longer. Who's been here longer than
Locatelli and Danilo?
Locatelli. Yeah, and Locatelli by what, like 6 months? So, yeah.
Locatelli by 6 months.
Yeah. And then Danilo. So
he is the second oldest guy on the roster by like team seniority.
Yeah.
And
that's not the excuse, obviously.
Yeah, there's no and like the thing is there's no dive to it. It's terrible. It's the same product. Like it's just kind of like what Sal is saying. I've never in my life been so excited to see Milik play.
It's kind of a sad sentiment.
Milik offers more. That's the irony of it.
It's too much. Yeah, it's getting a bit long in the tooth right now, and we don't want to talk about it. Now, we did wait almost 40 minutes to talk about it. So
you can end this. You can end this topic. You can end this topic or this segment in 5 seconds. Milik needs to play. Move on. End of story. That's kind of what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, since we've gone through the starting 11, I have opened up the lines. There is the link. We'll continue on until you want to join.
Yeah. But for example, other than that, I think when it comes to teams that don't do a low block, I think this team excels against them. My only concern is how do you handle low blocks? I think that'll get solved in time because when you look at the numbers, right, we're 2.76, 2.86 for expected goals, and we scored 3. So it's just like, that's fine. That's no problem. The issue is when you have expected goals of 0.56 when you're playing those low block teams. I'm assuming once Koopmeiners, Conceição, and Gonzalez and all of them kind of get together per se, I think that's not going to be much of an issue. But like, I don't know what to tell you guys, but when I was seeing people like sit there, oh, Empoli had a great game plan and blah blah blah, and I'm like, they beat a winless Roma team. That is the only win they have this season.
Yeah,
like,
and
come on,
is on the chopping block now.
Like, are you serious? Like, Roma can't buy a win to save their lives, and it's just like Roma's a test. Roma was not a test. We should have mollywopped them.
Yeah.
So that's my only concern I have right now out of the sample size that we've gotten. My only concern is how do we handle a low block? Like PSV was not low blocking. PSV was like, fuck it. That was their defense.
Honestly, I'm not too concerned. I still say, like, give it time. Like, this is a completely revamped and refreshed team. And if they learn each other's movements and everything, and if they learn how to accommodate to the system, everything will work fine. Like, for example, Koopmeiners can give you those through balls and cut the defense open. Even Locatelli, now that I told Dave like earlier, like for me, Locatelli looks completely like different mentally. Like he's trying passes, he's going for that dangerous ball, which he wasn't at all like last season.
Here's my response to that. It's because he's not the most important midfielder on the field anymore.
Yeah,
because before he was. Because it was
actual freedom. Yeah.
Yeah, it was because back then he was the more technically gifted midfielder on the pitch. And I think we've said this in the summer. I think it was either you or myself where like you have to simplify Locatelli's role to solve the Locatelli issue. Like you have to dumb it down for him. Because like I think this is to fault to Matt. This is partially Max's fault and this is partially the board's fault. Max put too much eggs in Locatelli, but at the same time the board was not like, well, we're not getting anything else. The best we'll give you is Pogba. Because, like, for example, I think, and this is one of those what if discussions that you can have, is if Pogba was healthy, then I don't think Locatelli would have struggled the last couple of years like he would have. Because I think with Loca, and I remember looking at what he played with at Sassuolo, like Loca was great when he wasn't the main midfielder. Loca struggles when he's the main guy. Oh, we got Toto without a hat.
Damn, I haven't seen you in a while like that.
I haven't seen you in a while at all. How's it going, bud?
What's going on? Sorry, boys. I'm at the office. So
yeah.
Thanks
for joining.
Are back here? Yeah.
It's not
damn already Christmas tree time.
He's getting ready to bankrupt Inter while we're talking.
Seriously.
Oh, yes.
What's up, boys?
Oh, well, just enjoying the win.
Yeah, I mean, it was 9:30 a.m. or 9:45 a.m. my time, so I snuck in what I could. But I mean, yeah, it was great from what I saw. Like, you know, other than you guys already talked about it with Dusa, but defense was super strong. I mean, Kalulu for me was. I mean, he's got to be our like a starting fullback, like for sure. Like last two games, what I saw from him, just you know, the solidity there. Bremer and Gatti are basically just a wall. You know, Cambiaso creating space. You know what I mean? Obviously for Yildiz. So that back four, you know, looks great. It looks very promising. Koopmeiners, you know, the guy's like, you know, he's just like we all talked about in the past, got an engine. He was absolutely everywhere. Loca, you know, just reinvigorated, which is nice to see. You know, if you were to tell me our first Champions League game that Luis and Thuram wouldn't be starting and it would have been, you know, McKennie and Loca, I would have thought like we got some serious problems. But yeah, it was great. You know, West hasn't barely gotten any minutes and found himself. He should have 2 goals really. Just always finding himself in the box, and and then on top of that, you know, obviously, yeah, you know, Yildiz did great. Nico, I don't know how the hell he unmarked himself on that second goal.
It was
if you
filthy.
guys watched that sequence, I was like, what? what the hell is this? So just, yeah, it was really encouraging. And I think that, and this is why I think we'll probably do better in the Champions League than maybe a lot of people might think, just because teams will play open against us in the Champions League. And that serves well with, I think how Mota set the team up. Jury's still kind of out for Serie A, I think, as far as like how he can adapt the team to, score goals against a low block enough that we don't rack up enough ties that we kind of find ourselves out of a Scudetto race. So I think that's sort of still the open question for Serie A. But yeah, in terms of Champions League, I think we're going to see some really good ties, and it was a great way to start. No other way to put it.
Beautiful. So were you at the office yelling? Like,
yeah,
your co-workers wondering what's going on there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it's just 9:45 start times are rough, So
I believe it. But you want to know who's rough right now is Dinamo Zagreb, man. 9-2.
Oh,
Yeah.
Harry
we did
Kane.
mention
Harry
that.
Kane with 4 goals.
Oh
Three
my god.
right?
3 penalties, one from open play for Harry Kane, and also, like I told Dave, 2 goals were taken away by VAR. It would have been double digits.
It was a baseball score, really, right?
It was
And
bad.
Oh
It was
my God.
bad.
but the funny thing,
They've
I'm like, they have to have like, there had to have been a red card somewhere. Like, no.
No. The crazy thing is, Bayern subbed Manuel Neuer out at halftime because they were leading 3-0. They said, "Hey man, like he's 39 years old. Like let's sub him out and save him a bit." They subbed in their second or their number 2 goalkeeper, and he has been trashed for years, but they're just keeping him, and he's also by now like 30-something years old. And immediately, like both goals, he could have saved them. Those were on him as well, like on the defense, yes, but as well on him. And after that, like Bayern just slaughtered them.
Death
Crazy, man.
taxes in Bayern Munich, and I guess
In the
still
Champions League, man.
Champions League. Like,
Dude.
it doesn't
Dude,
matter.
what is the streak? They haven't lost a group stage game in 3 or 4 years or whatever. Dude, it's crazy,
Something
man.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Just winning. It's
I do want to ask Bones here. He's saying Wes has better box movement than Dusan. Are you talking about on the pitch or Chiara Fratesi?
yes. Shit,
Oh
at
my
this
God.
point, I would.
And by the way,
Can we
has
put McKennie as a
anyone
9? Can we?
has anyone watched Real Madrid today?
Yeah, with Enric's goal.
Oh my God. How does an 18-year-old Endrick that hasn't seen European football, how has he better box movement and is more intelligent receiving the ball? Oh my God.
I don't know about intelligent. The guy's getting married at 18, but yeah, on the pitch he's pretty.
But hey,
Sal went for the fucking jugular.
yeah, kind of right with that one, but hey. Oh my God. But hey, he's a fan of Sir Bobby Charlton.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
it
God.
just, I mean, there was like, you know what though? Stuttgart kept that game very close
Dude.
for a long time. So
Stuttgart in the first half was amazing, and that is the Stuttgart that we have. They can score on you like whenever they can, basically, because they are so free fluently. Like it's basically the Zerbi ball, because Sebastian Hoeneß like learned a lot from De Zerbi. Like he is not like part of his coaching tree, but he was studying his coaching style. And you kind of saw that, like the first half was a basketball game. Like both teams could have scored, but when Real said, "Okay, let's calm the game down in the second half," played a low block, subbed in Militao for Lucas Vazquez, who God knows why played center back in the first half. And then you saw like Madrid controlled the game again. Like Stuttgart wasn't able to break down the low block like they were able to break Madrid down in open play in the first half. And then, yeah, dude, it's 33 great goals. Rüdiger scoring against German teams is like death taxes. It's crazy.
And I mean, also another one of our future opponents, Aston Villa. I mean, yeah, it was young boys, but 3-0
Yeah.
3-0.
Yep.
So,
Unai Emery is always going to be a pain in the ass to play in the champion in any
Oh,
kind of European competition. That guy owns the Europa League.
Yeah. I mean, well, there are no easy games, right?
No,
they're all going to be.
But
This
I
one
think,
wasn't. We got lucky, but yeah.
but
I think
Bayern
that-
had it easy.
I think like yeah,
No,
true.
okay.
That's true. But I do think like for
Sorry.
example, as far as the group stages go, because that's why I was kind of skeptical on what the odds makers gave us for the group stages. I think because of the group stages and the way that it is, it's kind of like you can't scheme. Like there's no scheming in this, right? You can't tactically scheme matches. Where like in the original iteration of it, you can, right? Like home and away, like, okay, let me play this lineup just so I can, rest here, adjust here, tweak there, right? Because remember when you're playing your Dinamo Zagreb's, like when you have like the beater team, Maccabi Haifa. No, I just say that to piss people off. But when you have like a beater team where you're able to rotate and do stuff like that, like you're kind of able to scheme in a group where it's like with this, it's just 8 straight game. It's 8 games. You got to go. Like you got to bang. Like there's no rematches. There's no do-overs. Like you have to treat every game
point,
seriously.
Every single damn point counts. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just like
And also every goal. This is also like
that's another thing too.
Yeah.
Goal
Every
differential is
goal, every
crucial.
point matters. Like everything, like in a league table system, you need every damn point. Don't concede.
And that's why
don't concede goals.
That's why I'm so upset that we kind of fell asleep, though, because the plus minus
Fucking Danilo,
differential there. No, we already mentioned Danilo.
I know.
And we haven't. We should go over it quickly. The substitutions. Before that, I was just clicking through some of the games. Found it interesting for Sporting CP, who won 2-0 today. Have Franco Israel as their goalkeeper, who used to be one of our next gen goalkeepers. So he's starting in.
You want to know something? Speaking of something funny, you want to know Chiesa's highlights for the Milan game? 30-second substitution. Mo Salah's substitute got 30 seconds. Why even bring him in? Oh, that's so
because
funny.
the fans. It's only because the fans are probably going to start wondering. Oh, he's playing all this. Oh, where is he?
They subbed him for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. No, but they kind of need him for rotation. Their EFL Cup already started, so
that's
they
not rotation though. 30
no,
seconds
no,
is not rotation.
No. I know, but just to show that he will be ready, like for the next couple of games at some point, like
yeah, sure.
Like it's just one of those. Like I'm not losing any sleep like because of him anymore. So no, it's all good. I'm over him, and yeah.
Okay, so let's quickly go over our subs. We talked about Danilo already. He screwed up. I don't know. It's not really. I'm kind of upset because that's not really helping his prospects. I love Danilo. He is technically your captain, and he finally gets a few minutes and just falls asleep on it. Just not cool. Won't focus too much on him. We all know. But for the other 4, Thuram, Fagioli, Weah, Luiz.
Fagioli should have had an assist.
Yeah, he did have a couple of good looks. Yeah. Hold on. What are we referencing? I think I missed the joke there. We're talking about Dusan, aren't we?
You mean Milik's replacement? Milik's sub?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh boy, guys, that one almost
We
went over my head.
We can't just call every player. It goes like that, and that guys replace them. And people will get confused at some point.
It's like no, we should just call him Lesser Milik at this point.
1% milk. There you go. Skim milk.
Yeah, skim milk. That's what he is.
Skim milk. That's what his name is.
I was happy though. We got to see the trio of Coop, Luis, and Thuram for I want to say 15 minutes.
The game was put to bed, though. There wasn't much to really talk about with them.
No,
they were just there for rotation.
It made sense just to keep your guys fresh for Saturday, right? So I'm glad he used used
And
all his.
that is why you sub in the guy for 30 seconds. Hey, you show
Yeah.
him off, get his legs
All
loose.
right, all right.
I think I saw the memes already for Luis that.
I'm sorry, the joke was laying right there. That's why.
Did you see the one where
the-
there's a meme of Alicia and Luis saying, "Oh, one of these people already has a goal for Juventus." It's
By the way, doesn't she have 2 already?
she might.
Does she have 2? I can look it up.
She scored more.
I know she
should have
definitely has
played
the
more than
one.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Well,
Luis,
he came out this
more
week too, bitching
more-
about it.
it's not fair, you know.
It's not like fair or not. I mean, what do you want us to do? Like, fuck.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Eamon, she got
you know,
his
it'd be
goal
funny, it'd be
last time.
hilarious if Douglas Luiz is like, well, he's like, well, I did a couple of swimsuit photo shoots and I didn't make as much as Alicia, so that's not fair to me.
Yeah, exactly. Oh boy. So she has 1 goal,
1 goal.
1 start, one.
Okay.
Yeah, 77 minutes played. So I mean, 1 goal
Wow,
over 77
she's-
minutes. Not
she's
bad for a midfielder.
She's already halfway towards Skim Milk's entire total with only 77 minutes.
Damn, Dash. Look at the goal. A goal every 77 minutes, man.
Is Milik going to be ready for Napoli, or are we still
I
nothing?
think after. I think after.
I don't think he is. Yeah.
So I kind of want it because they're always fun to make fun of. So IFTV tweet under Thiago Motta's guidance, stars like Kenan Yildiz are finally allowed to shine. Big results for the
Who did he start
Bianconeri.
under though? Who gave him time to shine?
He did well under Allegri.
That's why I don't understand that argument. I'm like, what?
He launched
And
you.
where was that when we tied the last 2 games?
Who runs their
Yeah.
Twitter? Who runs it?
Because we were mentioning him after the past couple games. We're like, oh, did he get the 10 too soon? He's kind of fallen off a little bit. He's been quiet. I mean, today, again, absolutely amazing, that goal. But, like, again, let's just chill out.
He
Fucking
had a
relax.
goal. Like, they're like, he had a goal a la Del Piero. I'm like, he did that last season too.
Mm-hmm.
Can we, like,
Sure did.
dude, the Allegri derangement syndrome in some folks is like ridiculously insane. Like, come on now. Like, you want to know the first comment though, which is kind of funny.
KF.
KF squad.
Yeah.
He cooked under Allegri too. Allegri gave him his debut. KF, I don't know if he watches us as much as he used to, but KF is doing the Lord's work. And then someone
Oh, I
responds
got
to
to comment
KF.
on that. I got to look that up and comment. Good for
He's
him.
like-
I love that
And
guy.
then someone's like, here comes Allegri snakes. I'm like, good Lord.
Oh, man.
And then
Hey, thank you. I agree.
Today where they were making fun of Fonseca, saying like, "Oh, this is he's playing Allegri ball against Liverpool." I'm like, listen, I'm like, don't ever put those 2 guys in the same sentence. I'm like, that is sacrilege. I was like, so it's like, and why are people still bringing this guy's name up? Like, let him enjoy his time off. Like, I don't get it. Like, what kind of point are you trying to prove at right now? Like, Allegri never won a Champions League game?
well, you know what's funny? It's because it's just like, even like, for example, with us, the channel being called like Allegri stands and like Allegri sympathizers, like, here's the funny thing, right? None of us naturally said the Roma game or the Empoli game, oh, Allegri would have won that game. None of us said that.
Never. No.
Like, we've not said that. But
By
like,
the way,
they've said
even
shit
not-
like that.
By the way, even under Allegri, 100% we would have tied those games. That's why
It
it's
just would have been 1-1 instead of 0-0.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, man. Some people just can't let it rest, I suppose.
I don't understand what, like, the dudes in Tuscany with fucking wine.
Dude, do you know what?
Like,
But it's not only that, Dash. The whole fan base, I don't know what's going on, man. They're fed up with Allegri. Before today's game, they were fed up with Thiago Motta already. Brother, what do you want?
like,
Like, what is it? What do you want? Do you want Pep Guardiola to come from Manchester City when they get sent to the 4th division or whatever, and he says, "All right, fuck it, I'm leaving this shit out." Like, do you want Pep? Like, what is your damn plan? Who do you want as the coach?
I mean, like, here's a perfect sound.
Should we have gotten Hansi Flick instead of Barca getting him? Like, what is your damn plan? Like, oh my
This
God.
is this is live Allegri in Tuscany right now.
I'm like, what do you say fuck me for?
Like that's honestly what it is. Like I
Did you see the second comment too? It was just thank you, Allegri. So like, there's still logical people.
it's fine, but like hell, even the guy that we argued with on the comments, he's like, "Fuck, man, he fucked everything up." And it's like, bro, what about the sporting directors? Fuck the sporting directors. And I'm just like,
They don't know what a sporting director is though, because they're fucking 12 years old.
It's a big word, Dave. Don't use big.
Oh,
words.
Sorry, was my words too big?
Too big.
When I call them a fucking idiot, they still say my words are too big. So
Just, you gotta go back. You gotta
retarded.
go back to your doctrinated and be doctrinated back at wherever you got doctrinated.
Yeah, apparently I have
Trudeaunomics.
university degree.
The only
Yeah,
the only time I did any trolling was when Mota did his football is very.
That was
simple.
beautiful. That was beautiful.
I'm like, I could swear I've heard some iteration of this somewhere before. You have 11 players versus 11 players. You're like, all right,
Yep.
thanks for clearing that.
And it's just like, you know what's kind of ironic too is just like all of these games have been pragmatic. It's just the only difference. Like the only difference is one has possession and the other one doesn't. And then, like, for example, the other thing too is you have more skill players than you did before.
Yeah.
And this isn't me knocking him as a coach.
Do you prefer 0-0 with less possession or more?
All I care is winning.
Flavor. Like,
yeah.
No, if I can choose between one of them, I always take more possession because you have a bit more control over the game when you have the ball more.
I'm more frustrated.
And it means you wear out less.
Should have scored if we had more possession.
No, I know, but if I have to choose for a 0-0 game, for example, I still take the game where I'm at less of a risk of conceding a goal. And you have that by numbers and stats. You have that when you have the ball more. So that's what I always will go to. I'm not losing my head with, we had 65% ball possession, but we weren't able to score. Yeah, shit happens. Like sometimes you don't score. Like you don't score with 30%, or some teams don't score with 70% ball possession. So
because the objective. So here's the thing: like people need to understand about coaching, right? Like the objective is to get, like, for example, if you're, let's use Max and Mota because everyone wants to have Max in their mouth. With Mota, right? Mota's job is to scheme to the point where you have higher than 50%, right? Mota trains the players to position, to organize, to counter press, to press, to make sure that that number is above 50%. That is the system, right? Possession-based pragmatism. It then goes on to the players to convert that into something, right? Whereas with Max's objective is, how do I get the opposing team with the least amount of expected goals, right? Have them locked down with the least amount of shots. But then it's on us to create something outside of it, right? Because that's the same thing with Conte. Like, for example, Conte's style is, hey, let's hunker down. Let's be pragmatic as hell, but let's punch them in the face and make sure that we're decisive when we have that one opportunity. Because, like, I saw Napoli play, and I saw Lukaku give probably one of the most legendary through balls to Crava. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, fuck, that's good.
Yeah.
And it's like, you look at that, and that's where it is, right? That is the difference between Max and Mota, right? Is Mota says, hey, we're going to have the ball. We're going to make sure that we have the ball, but I need you guys to figure out what you're going to do with it. Because Mota isn't going to technically coach, hey, Dusan, you need to move your ass over here so you can poke this in, or I'm going to start calling you skim milk at this point. Because, like, for example, the players, the Yildizes, the Concesaos, the Nico Gonzalez, and all those guys, they're not coached on what to do. They're not coached. Like, for example, Nico isn't coached by Mota to, hey, burn this defender and disappear from coverage like that. No, it's, we have the possession. Here's the area you're going to occupy. Do your thing in this area.
Yep.
Same thing with McKennie. Same thing with Locatelli. Like, for example, Loca, I don't need you to carry the ball. I don't need you to facilitate play. I just need you to hit a pass or two every now and then and go into open space. Locatelli looks like he's a world-class midfielder right now, right? Same thing with McKennie. McKennie, you're going to be that third midfielder that occupies space on the attack. I just need you to go into this space and occupy this role. If something falls in front of you, bang it. What happens? Goes in there, PSV gives him a dime, one time finishes into the net. That's Motta's style. But at the end of the day, it's going to be on the players to convert. It's always going to be on everybody to convert what's in front of them. Because, like, for example, you look at Empoli and you look at Roma. And this isn't me. And again, takes time. Takes time. There's no way that I'm going to bash it. And I said it back then. I'm going to keep the same energy now. It's a different perspective, right? Now it's like, okay, they're hunkered down. They're double lapping the wings. They're doing this. Motta says, hey, I've given you the possession. I've organized it to where you're going to have the possession, but I still need you guys to make plays. Because that's the difference with, especially with low block teams, is who's going to be able to do it. Like, for example, a Yildiz goal like today, stuff like that, because you look at the XGs and you look at it where it's like, if I'm berating chance after chance after chance, like even today, we did a good job against an open team, but expected three is still, like it's 2.86. Like we scored above it, but like that's what you're going to get with Malta. You're not going to get an expected goal of 4 or 5 or consistently 2s or 3s. Empoli was barely 1. Roma was barely 1. Even like the games that we won 3-0, it was 1.5. So it's about being consistent. It's about being clinical. And everybody on this team is starting to develop that clinical bone in them, except a certain individual that needs to switch from skim milk to whole D milk because he needs a lot of D.
Boned. He hasn't gotten boned since last season.
Well, here's the issue. So, like, let me briefly touch on him. 4 chances. 1 shot on target. Well, he hit a dude in the dick, but I don't know if you want to call that a shot on target. But 4 chances.
It was a shot on a target.
A target, not the preferred target. But 4 chances. What striker gets 4 chances in a game and doesn't convert a single one of them? Holland puts in 2 at least. Guaranteed 2.
Could we say, I'm going to assume the answer is Piatek?
You can.
Whatever.
You can. But it's just like you look at that and it's just like I had people and you saw me on Discord. I put Goose by the fire a little bit. Where I was like, look, you guys said, hey, well, maybe if he gets more chances, he'll do this. No. I've always said it's a conversion issue. It doesn't matter how many chances you get. If your conversion is cheeks, your conversion is cheeks. And that was on full display. And now, because there is more chances, because, there is a lot of people like, the IFTV crew that don't really understand the game. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful sense. It's just they don't, from a lot of the takes that they make, where now they're like, oh, wait, because now that certain players are getting more opportunities on the ball, certain things are being, because here's the one thing that Max did very, very well. And a lot of the Max haters, you have to give credit to Max for this. Is
right.
Max
before you jump in, I do have to leave, guys.
Oh, you're pulling
so I'm
out?
Sorry.
Prematurely?
I do have to pull out.
You gotta say the safe word. Pineapples.
Enjoy Florida.
Yeah, hopefully you're meeting Jeff.
I'm meeting who? Sorry?
Jeff.
Hopefully you're meeting
Jeff. Oh, Jeff. No. He's like hours away. I'm literally in the shithole of Florida right now. And I know there's a lot of shitholes, but like I'm in it.
Shitholes, he means fentanyl dealers. Dave's going to get some fentanyl.
Florida Man County.
Dude, I went to the gas station last night and the guy was like a perfect mix of like your typical Indian gas station attendant and Florida man. It blew my mind. I loved it. But anyways, guys, I do have to go. Thank you for joining, and hopefully I can catch you on the next one as well. But yeah, I'll leave it.
See you, Dave.
Pretty fine gentlemen. Peace out, guys.
Oh, shucks. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for keeping it warm for me.
Oh, yeah. Good night, guys.
But kind of going back into the discussion, right?
Hey, Dash, now that he's gone, do you want to go into technical stuff?
We could.
Look, because just to deepen the understanding a bit on the difference between Motta and Allegri as well, because this is, for example, I know it's still the lineup for the 4-2-3-1. I know that.
Try
but this is, for example.
Dave, try to make it full screen so you can make it a little bit bigger because it's a little bit smaller.
Gotcha.
There you go.
Voila. So this is how you would stack the box under Allegri, for example. Let's say the opponent is coming down here on our left side. Cambiaso takes the guy 1v1, Yildiz as a help defender, and the other guys stack the box, for example. Like Bremer here on the first post, Luis maybe there, Locatelli is covering a hole there, Gatti is keeping that one clean, and Kalulu, like whoever is there on the right side, for example, and Gonzalez again, the help defender. That means under Allegri, if you win the ball back, you win it in this area. And when you win it, you have to go the whole pitch, which is why our counters weren't as great, if you remember that. Like, because you have to go the whole full length of the pitch, and then you have to have players that are intelligent enough to exploit the holes that the opposing defense would have had in this space.
Yes.
And Chiesa, I'm sorry, but was not intelligent enough to exploit the holes, because he was still, like, they had two defenders in the back, and Chiesa was running, instead of going there or trying to go towards the goal, was running straight at the defender. And Vlahovic wasn't stretching the other guy either, so we couldn't like exploit that space.
So I kind of,
now-
before you go deeper, right?
Yeah.
Because like, for example, it kind of like there was an instance, right, where I believe it was Fagioli that could have, it was the Fagioli could have had the assist, right? Dusan was weaving in, out, in, out, in, out on that run, where I'm like, dude, just pick an angle and go. Right. And that's one of those things with the lack of the intelligence of the play right there. But do carry on.
Hold up. McKennie is 16, right?
Yes. You know, you can add more, right? You don't have.
Yeah, no, I know. I just wasn't prepared to do a tactical.
Ooh, he whipped his
lesson.
board out last minute,
Yeah.
everybody.
And look, under Motta, we are pressing here in this area. Even Di Gregorius is high up and trying to take a striker away. You have to think that, because there's a striker here, and Di Gregorius right there. Like, in that sense, he is our first defender. Bremer's cover is like pressing in that area. McKennie is there. Vlahovic should be the first pressing station we have. Then Koopmeiners is the next one. If they pass the ball there, Yildiz is that one. And we are winning the ball back in this area, which is way closer to the box. And which is why, in my opinion, we don't need Vlahovic like here all over the space. Like, if Koopmeiners is into the game, like and gets used to all the other players' movements, Koopmeiners is occupying this space. Nico Gonzalez can go there, and Vlahovic can become a pure box striker, which I think is honestly his best role. Because if he is in that area, that leaves you in the hole right there. And Koopmeiners, even though he is a good finisher and very good on the ball as a hybrid 10-8, yeah, I know you don't like to hear it, Dash, but I think Vlahovic is still like a better finisher in the box when he gets the ball around that area. So I would like to see him way more there. And if we win the ball back in this area, like I said, like, you can exploit even more space with a great passer, can give through balls there, Yildiz doing those cuts, and you have way more possibilities if you win the ball back higher. But of course, it leaves you with the risk, like, you have maybe two guys right here. Ideally, you have a third one right here. If Cambiaso is the one going forward, then you have them spread out this way. And yeah, Locatelli, for example, there, and McKennie is like all over the pitch anyways. And the danger is still there, like of being exposed than on a counter. But yeah, winning the ball back gives you a higher chance of scoring, basically.
The idea is, with this kind of way of play, is that you either put the ball in the net or you put the ball out of bounds for a goal kick. That's usually kind of how this action goes. And to be honest with you, if this is like the passage of play that I consistently will start seeing, like, to the unpopular belief of many people, like, I think Mario Icardi would thrive. Like, if you were to trade out Dusan for Mario Icardi with that method of play style, like, dude, Mario Icardi would feast, because Icardi is just a pure poacher. Like, if you're just putting in ball after ball after ball in there, he's just absolutely feasting. But the issue is, and this is where, for example, tactically, from a tactical level, this system will only go as far as Dusan allows it to go. Because, go ahead, Sal.
No, I was just saying, I also think we would probably be better served not having a true 9 and going with a falso nuevo. You know what I mean? But
yeah, it would be way better for the flow of the game.
Yeah,
go ahead, Sal.
albatross for a while, so we're just trying to make do with what he's got. So I understand why he keeps playing him, but it's tough.
But like for example, the issue is like there's two ways you go about it. You need a guy that can facilitate the ball movement, or you need a guy that's a direct finisher, right? And right now there's none of it.
Yeah,
Like
because he's right between that. That's my problem. Like he's trying to be involved in the passing game, which today worked because he had the assist. But overall, he's not good in build-up play. And when he receives the ball with his back to the goal, he's not good at that. And then the compromise isn't good. You either have to have a guy that is a pure 9 and in the box, and you
Or
have
you
to
have- or you have a
compensate
Xerxes.
with a 10 foil, or you have a Xerxes that can do those movements, like rip open the defense with one movement, coming a bit forward, which pulls the defender out and that stuff. And he is right in between those, which isn't good, honestly, because he's a tweener, and a tweener like in this style doesn't work. You have to be committed to one style.
Yeah, and even then, it's just like I don't know what he is, and that's the issue I have. And Gompatro, look at Icardi's stats. Icardi had over 40 contributions last season. Like Icardi had 30 goals plus like 14 assists. So like that's why I'm saying, like, I think like with Icardi, because like for example, in my opinion, if you pair Icardi with Koopmeiners will then understand what his role is and what he needs to do to facilitate the play. Because, like, for example, he'll know that Icardi is the final piece in the puzzle in front of the net where the ball just needs to get lofted to him. Where then he moves as he's able to telegraph properly. Because Dusan is kind of that tweener and he doesn't know. And unfortunately, I do not believe in him like Joe Henry. It's going to be one of those things where it confuses the guys on the field. Where are you going to occupy? Where are you going to go? What are you going to do? How are you going to do it? Right? Because it's just like I have a hard time trying to understand what Dusan's movements are, and that's where I struggle tactically, is to understand what he's trying to do. Like for example, not comping him to Holland. That comp is dead and burned. But like for example, when I watch Holland play, Holland is in the area in the vicinity. Like for example, what Holland does is Holland stays in the shadow of the winger that's coming in and penetrating the box with the ball and waiting for a loose ball. Like that's what Holland does. Like Holland, when the team is in possession and attacking the opposition's box, he's in the shadow of the winger or of Kevin De Bruyne, where if they lose it, he's able to scoop up the loose ball and take a shot and score. If they slot it to him, he's able to do a one-time shot and score. Like Holland is essentially a poacher in a sense. Even like, for example, with that long ball.
Can I add one extra thing that
Go
Holland
ahead.
does that Dusan seems to have a hard time with? Unmarking himself.
Yes.
And even marked, by the way, even when he's man marked,
strong enough to stay.
He's taller than the defender. He can jump higher than the defender. He can push him off because he's goddamn Viking strong. And even then, if he can't push the defender off, he can still somehow like put his leg out and still like poach the ball away.
Yeah,
like his positioning is just
But
great.
you know, Dusan does enough shirtless pics on Instagram. He should be strong.
The stuff that I have seen though, outside of the the attack, is a few things. One, I don't see teams pressing us like they were last year.
Oh, absolutely.
Number
You're
one.
right.
Number two.
Because they can't anymore.
Exactly. Number two, when because it's not we do lose possession now. You just don't notice it as much because the team is much better recovering the ball. So
they stifle them.
I've seen that consistently, and I thought that would take a little more time, but credit to Mota and the training staff, like it's been pretty consistent from day one. So, and honestly, it's a lot easier to keep clean sheets when you're doing that. I mean, granted, Empoli did have a late, last second chance. That one I would like to see a little bit better is keeping that concentration last, 5 minutes or so of the game. I think there's some room for improvement there, but yeah, man, just having real fullbacks, just doing like a legit back four. Like it's been a while. I forgot how much I miss like a functioning back four. Not the 3-man defense is the worst thing in the world, but it's nice to see.
Yeah, well, and here's the other thing I kind of wanted to touch on too, because we couldn't on Saturday, we had to end. But like for example, the whole like ball playing center back stuff, right? Where it's just
I
like
love that discussion.
I want to have it, like we can probably have it briefly, because like people keep thinking like we need a ball playing center back, we need a ball playing center back, we need a ball playing center back, and it's just like I don't think like you need an elite ball playing center back, right? Like for example, and I'm always going to keep that argument, because it's just like you don't need that maestro, slot a through ball through traffic center back. I think what you need is, like for example, where I think Gatti and Bremer are progressing now, and it's also to testament to the system as well, and I think the system is doing quite well for it too, where you have so many skill players in so many positions on the pitch, it forces oppositions to stretch. So, like for example, with a Max Allegri system where everything's conjuncted into the middle or pressed together, then yeah, I could understand where you need like a prime Bonucci or a Pau Torres, or like for example, a center back that's able to hit those 40-yard piss rockets out of
And
nowhere.
like Konate for Liverpool.
But
Those guys can do it.
I don't think, like for example, I don't think that you need that is like as much of a priority as people are yelling for it to be. Because like for example, if you have the board out and you look at like the way that we're lined up, I accidentally hit Font Mob on my screen. But like if you look at it from the way that we've stretched the field, it's almost like I don't need Bremer or Gatti to make like a maestro-esque pass, because like for them it's more so they're here and you have traffic essentially around this area here, because let me just line this up correctly for everybody.
I think it's because you're seeing Locatelli improve so much, right?
Exactly.
I think a big portion of that's which is weird, because that's kind of what Max was asking him to do last year, albeit different formation, but you're starting to see that now. It's taking a lot of pressure off Gatti and Bremer. We're to the point, even like with De Gregorio, you haven't really had to see his skill set because he hasn't really needed it. So
yeah. No, exactly. And it's the other thing too that I keep forgetting to mention too is the goalkeeper. So it's just like folks are kind of like, we need that ball playing center back. We need that ball playing center back. And it's just kind of like you don't really need it to get out of the back, because like, for example, say that this person 8 presses Bremer can easily just move the ball over to Cabal or Cambiaso. Or like, for example, say that this guy's, because here's the other issue too, say that 5 is pressing, because there's no way in hell the center back is going to go past the midway point. But say that you have a fullback and these guys are starting to press this area here, and if Dusan knows how to do his job properly, there's always going to either be an option between going back to the keeper or just doing a slotted pass this way. Like there isn't really much. Or like, for example,
look what you just created. Di Gregorio. What are all his passing options now?
so you give De Gregorio the ball, Thuram can check you over here.
And that's it. And you already passed the level of the defender, so the defender doesn't even need to touch the ball because you have so many options.
Yeah, and that's why I don't, like, for example, I'm not concerned that much where a lot of folks were about the ball playing center back. I mean, like, for example, even and I've always said this, if you are at the instance when you're here, so say that a team's playing a low block, because like I'm not a fan of, like, for example, the whole Calafiori bulldozing into the box, as that one folk was mentioning on Saturday. Like, for example, if you're at this instance where this team is hunkered down like this, and if you're relying on a center back, because when you're going in like this, it's generally going to be stretched out wide like this. He's going to cover this area here. Your center backs are going to be here. Your midfielders will push up here in the box. So, like, for example, if I'm ever in this instance and I need this guy to do something, I'm already in trouble. Because, like, the issue is like, unless somehow Bremer or Gatti are going to be able to loft a ball into Dusan or do something like that, and even then, that's a low percentage shot. The concern is if you're requiring these guys to play make or do something where they interchange here, and like, for example, you have to leave Douglas Luiz, it's like the argument that I want to point out is If you have a center back that is more skilled than your midfielder, then I think that is a team setup issue. That's a
A- a-
problem.
and also, honestly, like it's always good having players like regardless on which position that are good on the ball, because in the end it doesn't hurt you to be technically savvy on the ball, like regardless wherever you play. But in this instance, or in most instances of the big teams, the center backs don't pass don't pass center pitch. They barely ever do that. The At the most, you maybe need the defender to be your first passing or pass receiver, and then sharing the ball, like in your own half or in your own first third of the pitch, basically.
Yes.
And after that, you let them, the midfielders, your wingers, your fullbacks that are moving forward, because in modern football, the fullbacks are literally
Pseudo
like
wingers.
box to box players, or line to line, or whatever you want to call it in that instance.
So
So
go ahead. Sorry, Dave.
when your defenders like Bremer and Gatti, like here on their tactical part, you keep them on the center line because you want to still have room for them to defend if a ball gets lost. You still need them there, like as your first as your defenders, basically, in case anything goes wrong. You don't want your defenders on the edge of the box. Like
No.
sometimes, yes, you can appear there, but for that you still have to have one center back like on the center line to be there in case, or you have to pull a midfielder down. So you still have always two people back there as a safety blanket. And that is why I think, honestly, like I think ball playing center backs, like you can switch the position around, like it doesn't have to be the center back that is great at the ball. It can be the fullback, it can be your midfielders, and your defenders still can be on the center line and cover basically the space behind them. Like you don't need to play those high risks if your other players can compensate for that. And in our case, it can, because Cambiaso is great at the ball. Cabal, we learned, is very good at the ball. Kalulu is incredible on the ball. Locatelli like flourishes again. McKennie can be the cover player if Bremer or Gatti should go forward for once, for example. And then like Koopmeiners, incredible on the ball. Douglas Luiz, Yildiz, Vlahovic, okay, but what do you? Let's not talk about that. But I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like if 8 or 9 out of the players in your squad are incredible on the ball, or very good at the ball, you don't need all your defenders to be elite at the ball as well.
Yeah, and here's the other thing too, because like for example, when you're running into a system like this, it's by design. So what the idea is that this is going to be the main person, which is generally like a Duvan Zapata, like a physical guy, right? So like this 9, you need a Bremer or a Gatti to man mark this person because they're a physical player. But generally when you're attacking, you like to cut. So most coaches, when they scheme, they always try to cut the field in half when they're playing against a low block. Because what you want to do is you want less space to turn the ball over, because teams that employ a low block are trying to sucker you in by design. So if you are playing a half of a field, these lines are your best friend right here.
Absolutely, they're an additional defender.
They're an additional defender. Why? Because like for example, if Cabal takes the ball, 5 hits a hard tackle or does something, Cabal is able to essentially either deflect the ball off him or flick because you'll see it instant a lot of times where even though we made fun of him, Kostic would just hit a defender in the ass and would go out to touchline for a throw-in. But like for example, the idea is if I'm going to lose the ball, if Yildiz or Cabal is going to lose the ball, they're going to put it where the ball is going to come out here or make it difficult for them to receive the ball and start a counterattack. The concern is when you're going into the middle. If you're attacking through the middle because you want a ball playing center back, that's where it gets dangerous. Because in the middle, you have all of this traffic. So if Bremer or Gatti or whoever, or even if you got an elite center back, if they play this to go somewhere over here and this gets turned over, this 9 is getting the ball and the wingers are instantly releasing. Because like, for example, when I'm countering, so 8's going to be my winger, and I believe this number right here, number 10, is going to be my winger. So what'll happen is the second the ball gets moved, so the ball is immediately going to the 9. And then as the ball is coming from this center back to the 9, say that he wins it off a header, these guys have already started running. They've already started moving into positions here. So the idea is then the 9 will just have to slide, because that's what happened with Empoli with us towards the end of the game. Empoli took the ball, sent it to their main facilitator, and their facilitator found it to space. So essentially the Empoli play went this way. Bremer was tracking this way, and Gatti was able to catch this at the last second, essentially. Because that's how they play. It's all by design. Your center back should never be the person that you need to break down low blocks or even to break anything down. Like, for example, in a team that doesn't employ a low block like PSV, Gatti and Bremer are perfectly fine for what you need. You don't need anything special, because games like today give you the instance where you're in a lot of 1v1 situations and you're able to thrive. So in theory, Yes is still here. I love that guy. But in theory, you're able, it's kind of like, it's like football, right? Where you're doing man marking versus zonal marking when you give them the nickel package or the dime package. It's different ways, just different offenses. But with a low block, you got to be careful with that. And I don't think a ball playing center back or a Calafiori, hell, if you're running a Calafiori and you're expecting him to bulldoze or to do something in there and he turns the ball over, you're kind of out of a center back because you've effectively taken him out of the play. So I think it's an overblown issue. I think if anything right now, the biggest issue is you need to figure out what the offensive pivot is, whether it's a false 9 or whether you somehow get an Icardi, a Lukaku, or a Xerxes or something like that, right? So it's just like that is the biggest issue, because until either Dusan figures out what his identity crisis is or they find a replacement for him, you will not see the full capabilities of this team. Thank
Yeah,
you for coming to my TED Talk.
you need a ball recipient up front, like, and whether it's in the box or outside the box, and he then shares the ball with the other players, you still have to have a player there to receive the ball somehow. And yeah, he is putting himself like out of out of the game basically, and lots of possessions. Because if he receives the ball like 30 yards from the goal, what is he supposed to do as a player that can't pass the ball like all of the time? Yes, today I guess he proved it with or he tried to prove us wrong with one assist, but I think all of us know that it's not his usual forte to play passes like that, like directly through the cut open those two defenders back there. And if you have that much space in front of you, like, he can't take defenders 1v1. He's not a good dribbler. He can't shoot it from outside the box. Yes, some Hail Marys go in, like, at some points, but yeah, man, I don't know. It's hard to say that. I don't want to trash him because I still think like if he hits one of his good patches again, like he can again score 4 or 5 goals and all of a sudden in, I don't know, man, 3 games or whatever. Like, he has those moments, but he has to keep it up somehow. And God knows, maybe Motta turns him a bit more intelligent. I don't know. But yeah, I'm hopeful too. But
I'm
yeah,
hopeful, but
we
my
have to.
patience has run out.
Yeah.
That's, for me, it's difficult.
It's just that it is the one glaring weakness, right? Especially if Milik's going to struggle for fitness all year. You'd have to think that in the winter mercado, there's got to bring. I'm not saying it's going to be a huge name or what have you, but you need some depth there.
The problem is we don't have the money for something huge, because we are basically we were like balanced, or the balance sheet was balanced, and then we had the money we paid for Koopmeiners, so we have to basically bring money in again first before
Trade our tour for Icardi.
Oh, I thought you were saying for Moise Kean.
No. I think
Sent out to back to Fiorentina.
Dude, that pisses me off. If Moise Kean gets more goals than Dusan this season, I'm flipping a keyboard.
Right now,
He's twice the amount. So I don't know. Oh my goodness, if that happens, Bones is gonna come on every stream and he's gonna sit there and be like, "Hey, remember when everybody was making fun of Keane and saying he's trash? Well, guess what? He scored more than Dusan." Like I can imagine Bones just coming in live stream doing that. LJJ says, "Would you trade Dusan for Osimhen?" No, I don't think I would. They're almost kind of the same player in a sense. Like I wouldn't.
But Osimhen is a better finisher.
He is, but like for me, I think you need one player that can receive the ball really, really well, and then another person and putting it in the back of the net.
Everybody, I sent the link into the chat one more time because we have 20 minutes at most left. So hey, whoever wants to have a talk, come join us.
What are you guys so looking forward? Sorry, my phone's not on steady. Like my usual setup, but what are you guys thinking setup wise for Napoli?
It's gonna be, I think we have to go a physical package in the midfield. Physical and then
on the fullbacks as well, which is why I would start Kalulu on the right side, like just to cover Kvara, and if you contain him, like what Napoli is dead.
Yeah, because I'm not worried about Bremer or Gatti being able to pocket Lukaku.
No. It's not. The issue is it's not like, for example, it's not pocketing Lukaku. It's not letting him have that through ball.
Yeah.
Because, like, for example, I don't know how the hell he developed it, but Lukaku has had a filthy through ball for some reason.
No, we are laughing at him, but his vision is incredible on the field. Like, his passing and his intelligence with the back to the goal is amazing. Like, his finishing is atrocious. And we always laugh about him and how many times he's offside and everything. He scored more offside goals than Musiala scored goals as the Golden Boot winner. But damn, like his positioning is sorry.
I think here's the thing. Like, do you start Koopmeiners, Thuram, and McKennie?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, we lost Sal.
Oh,
Sal kicked himself out. But like, I wouldn't see that. I mean, we'll talk about it Thursday, right? Because we need something to talk about for Thursday.
We need some content, yeah.
Yeah, we're like trying to do it all. But no, we need. You know who we need? We need Dahl. We need Dahl to start as a center defensive midfield. Do you see how huge Dahl is? We need Dahl to start there. Dahl just absolutely fuck him up. But
cut out. But I would just be like, I don't know. I'd be a little hesitant to take Lookout right now.
I would too, but like I'm looking at it, I'm thinking of it from a heavy package, right? I think the question is here's where I think I might vary from folks, because Kalu's been great, but I think you play Cabal and Cambiaso as your fullbacks. Because like I think Cabal would line up on Krava's side, or no, it's the opposite side.
No, it's the opposite, yeah.
So
that's why I would put Kalulu on Kvara on the right side, and I think Politano's playing on on Napoli's left side is Kvara, on our side it's Kalulu who's defending him, and on Napoli's right side it's Politano right now for most of the games, or they sub in Giovanni Simeone like sometimes.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, like I said, I'm not worried about like the main striker being a threat. I'm more concerned about the vision, right? That's the.
Oh my god! I hope Yildiz cooks Di Lorenzo, man. Oh please, man.
Because, like, for example, Napoli isn't going to press hard. I think Napoli are going to kind of sit and wait their chances and wait for us to make a sloppy pass or a mistake, and then they'll hit us with speed. I think that's what Napoli will do. I'm not concerned about like a full breakdown, but I think if we can disrupt their passing lanes, I think we'll be fine. Because, like, for example, if you look at teams that are able to get into their face and disrupt their passing lanes, because that's the thing with Conte, right? Like, if Conte has no plan B. Like, if you're able to telegraph his main game plan and slap him in the face with it, like, he just opens his mouth and takes it. Like, there's no comeback for it. Like, Conte's never been able to adjust. But I think, like, for example, I don't know if it's the sleeve that he wore, but like the aura McKennie had, like, I think you need to play McKennie as a physical destroyer. Or like McKennie's job is just to essentially give that midfield hell. But I think right now, just based off of performance, I think Loco's probably going to get the nod. I think Coop is going to get the nod just by de facto. I think it's probably going to be the same midfield trio we saw today.
Yeah, unless Thuram, I think he's still waiting for full fitness, so I guess depends on the training sessions. But yeah, seeing one of Thuram or Wes isn't a bad idea. It really is.
And I think Wes and Thuram will be interchangeable between each other. But like that's where I'm just sitting there thinking, I'm like, that you need, when you're playing a Conte team, you need physicality. Like you have to have a big package in the middle because Conte's teams like to play fast and hard. So like the best way to counter it is by being hard in the middle and obstructing them.
Yeah,
Because like
you mentioned hard way too much in one sentence.
Very, very hard. No Diddy. Unfortunately, Diddy's in jail. What? No, but you got to look at it from that perspective, right? Because yeah, I hate Conte as a coach, but there's one thing he does very, very well. It's he has a style of play that he wants to do, and he does it. Again, beating a Conte team is essentially how good is your 9 at facilitating play. Like that's the other thing too. That's how you beat an Antonio Conte side. Is like, is your 9 able to facilitate the ball to the wings? If you do, then you isolate, because the best way to beat a Conte system is, and of course I still have the board. Yeah, Muppets. But the best way to beat the Conte system is you want to essentially have everybody out besides the back 3. If you are able to isolate the back 3, you are cooking. Because this is essentially the failsafe of a back 3, is when you have 3 skill players isolating the 3 center backs. I'll just put him here. So if there is ever an instance, because they have to drag out wide. So the moment you drag them out wide into these 1v1 situations, you will cook every single time. Because that is a center back's nightmare, is being left one-on-one with space. Especially because a lot of back 3 center backs are physical. Movement-wise, their movement is trash. They're not very good movement-wise.
Because
Positioning,
they're big most at the most time. They're not the fastest. They're not the most
big men.
finesse players.
Exactly. Because the reason why they're terrified of this situation, because these guys will start beaming, this guy will start beaming, this guy will start beaming. So then it just becomes a big gap of space, and essentially the main person of the match is this guy. You will break them down as well as this guy can. It's the same thing with Roma too. Roma employed the same similar style that you're going to see against Napoli, except Roma is a poverty franchise and will forever be a poverty franchise. And De Rossi will get fired before Christmas, and I will win my bet. But besides my point.
After what he signed, a 3-year extension?
Yep. Uh-huh. I don't know why they did it, but because they don't have Mourinho players anymore. They have De Rossi players and Dybala. But again, it is what it is. But yeah, the key to success against any Antonio Conte side is how well can you isolate his back 3. If you can isolate his back 3, you shall win the match.
I would just love to see De Lorenzo get put on his ass.
Yildiz could do it.
Yep.
If it was Conceição, I'd give you a guarantee that'll happen, because Conceição would just run right by him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a big one. Napoli, they have 3 wins. One of those wins could have very easily have been a loss.
Should have been a loss. It's Parma.
Yeah, and honestly, they haven't, their level of competition. They haven't really played a top traditional top 6 side yet. So I think the jury's still out. Credit they beat the teams that you would expect them, a Conte side, to beat. But I'm far from convinced. So we'll see.
Right now, Udinese is the number 1 team in Serie A, and I guarantee
exactly.
IFTV is probably making a post about it too.
Yeah, it's that time of the year. So
so it's just I don't read too much into it, right? The only thing I look into it is okay, there's things you should have done, there's things you shouldn't have done, but and that's why I was kind of hard on us with Roma and Empoli, right? Because it's just like, I'm like, really? Come on now. Like, they haven't done anything there. Stop crediting Empoli, saying that they're this amazing team, because again, they didn't really do anything crazy. It's the beginning of the season. You're always going to have those lower to mid-table teams, first, second, or third for like the first 4 or 5 weeks, and then it just kind
Torino,
of
right? Torino's in the mix still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I always reserve skepticism on it, because like the one thing that folks don't understand behind the scenes is when it comes to the lower table teams, their season starts 3 or 4 weeks earlier, generally, with Coppa Italia and other things too. So they tend to have more actual minutes under their legs. So they're a lot more organized, a lot more concise together. And then after that, they kind of at the end of October, because then everybody else is up to fitness in par. So then, like, for example, the only time you're really expected to drop points is within the first month and a half per se. Like, for example, Inter with Monza, us with Empoli. Like, those are games that, like, in reality, if you play that match in December, or like, for example, in February, you're not really going to lose that one.
Even if you start the game, like if you like go back 90 minutes, start the game like from the beginning, like it's most of the times it's a different great game. It's just one of those. It's early in the season. We have like we mentioned like 1,000 times by now. Like, it's a completely new team, a new coach, a new philosophy. All of a sudden, a team that had like 30 to 35% ball possession now, like, completely roles we reverse, basically. Like, give them time, man. Give them time. I hate those people that want to create panic and hysteria and everything. Chill, man. It's early in the season. We are still right there, like, in the fight for the top. And honestly, like, we're tied with Inter on points. Like, yeah, and who of the other ones is like Milan has 5 points, and yeah, Roma's in the relegation fight right now.
Inside the
Like
relegation.
who, who are the other good teams there that we are fearing? So chill, man. Everything is still good.
I think it's more like, if I was an Inter fan right now, I'd be more alarmed than being a Juve fan, because watching those games, for me, because I've caught a bit of them, and like Inter just they wait to pick up speed.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I think they're a bit too confident right now. They feel like they can kind of get themselves out of any mess, and it's costing.
Oh, Manchester City will sit there as down tomorrow. Oh my God, I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, so I'm not too worried. Like I said, we haven't conceded a goal in the league yet, which is, you keep that up all season, you're going to be in the mix until the very end.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that's the one. That's like the one constant every year, no matter who wins the title. It's the person who concedes the less usually. And we're on a really good track there. So
yeah. Hey, it's literally still like to this day, defense wins championships, even in the Premier League, where the teams are scoring 90 to 100 goals as well. Like, while they score 85 to 95 points, like in the last couple of seasons, which is incredible. Like, still the teams with the best defense still win the title, because you minimize the risk of having a surprise result in the end. Like, if you don't concede goals in surprising moment or in the dying minutes of a game, like, that is what wins you championships.
Yeah, I mean, the draws will be annoying and they'll be there, but even with Conte, we were talking about Conte earlier, his undefeated Juve team. How many draws did that team have?
Like 14, 15.
Yeah.
I think that was even like on the prediction video, that was my biggest concern that I have, is that we're going to probably have a lot of draws. That was my thing that, like, I didn't put us in for the title, because I was looking at, like, for example, I was looking at previous season results, right? And I was looking at it's like 3 draws, 4 draws, 2 draws, 3 draws. Like, for example, like the Inter, the Napoli, the Milan, and all of them, like, they didn't really draw that much at all. Like, it was just, almost near 30 wins pretty much for the most part. So, like, that's why I was just kind of like, because I envisioned us drawing a lot of matches just because of the way that we play, right? Because, like, for example, having 60% ball possession, in my opinion, my humble opinion here, Lecce, Monza, Como, Venezia, and those teams are not really going to score on you.
Yeah.
Like, if they don't have
I
the ball,
said,
they're not.
you minimize the risk of conceding one of those shithouse goals that happens,
Yeah.
or one of those shots of outside the box that all of a sudden, they tie the game in the 87th minute, and you can't like come back and score again on them. Like you minimize the risk of those the more you have the ball.
Yeah.
So
That's my biggest concern because, like, for example, if you're not able to score quickly against them to force them out of shape or out of position, then you're in for the long haul. Like, you're there to, like, hopefully someone makes a play or pulls something out of their ass to get you going. Like, that's going to be the thing.
But honestly, I think after the next international break is where we should be clicking on all cylinders. And the next international break is, I think, in the middle of October, around the
Yeah.
10th or 11th, because ironically, I remember that because it's my birthday weekend. And after that international break, like players like had 1 or 2 months with their teams. They went with the international teams. They are clicking on all cylinders. They're back in football shape and everything. And I think after that October international break, you will see the best form of the players.
Yeah, and hopefully it's the best form of a certain individual whose name I don't want to continuously berate, but I think that's going to be the biggest thing. I think if he figures out whatever the hell his issue is and is able to perform consistently, then I think we'll be in a far better off place. But look, man, I hate to say it, but until hopefully Milik is able to lessen that load on him, but if we don't figure that out, man, I'm concerned with how it's going to be long-term consistency.
And who here thought that the first midfielder to score a goal for us would be McKennie? Anybody?
Not me.
No.
Nobody. People are like, what the hell's a McKennie?
I thought Douglas Luiz will be our first midfielder to score.
I put my money on Coop.
I didn't, because I didn't think that we will have him for the first games. That's why I thought Douglas Luiz.
Fair enough. But all right then. So let's not steal content for Thursday. We'll be back on Thursday to talk this as well. Obviously, there's a lot of you that stuck with us for almost 2 hours. So a big kudos to you guys again. Obviously, if you have not liked the video, please like the video. Get the thing out there as well. The German David and myself will be doing some documentary. I don't want to say documentaries, but more like in-depth videos, kind of like how we did the player breakdowns for the new guys. So we might pick up some tactics or some stuff that we want to go in depth as well to kind of teach you guys some things about it as well. Maybe some coaching styles or stuff like that. So that's just pending based on our schedules, because our schedules are a little bit wacky right now because towards the end of the year. And I know Sal's life gets busy towards April, but ours gets a little bit busy towards the end of the year.
I've fucked, man. I'm working in the football business right where the season began, dude. It's getting even worse for me, like week by week. It's horrible.
So like and sub if you haven't sub. Again, also, like, folks, like, understand this is a community of discourse. So like try to have sensible thoughts when you try to have discourse, right? Because I think we can honestly boast that our community is probably one of the best communities when it comes to discussions and discourse. If you want to see for yourself, you can obviously join the Discord, because that's where everybody comes in and talks stuff, and we also talk trash to each other, because I hate saying it because it's cliche, but it's like a family. No, it's a great spot where if you want to throw in ideas, or if you have stuff that you want to discuss or some opinions and stuff like that, you can go in there. And of course, German Dave, Maple Dave, or Florida Dave, and myself will always be in there to talk as well too. So again, there's no paywall behind the Discord. You can just click the link. I believe it's in the description. We can even give you the QR code here if you want to join in there as well too. But there's always going to be either us streaming some matches and stuff like that and having watch parties, or just watch parties in the chat and just discuss stuff of the game there.
Each other.
Yeah, that too as well. So yeah, on that note, Bones wants to
before we go, look at these beauties. Look at these beauties I got today.
He's got that Air Force energy now.
Jordan wants, man. What Air Force? What do you want?
Bones actually flexing his schlong there, his 13-month-long schlong. Also, again, if you do want to support the channel as well, too, you can always do the 99-cent membership as well, so that just all the proceeds go to the channel, so we can, purchase more equipment, pay for software licensing and stuff like that, because 1080p ain't cheap, my guy. But on that note,
Now you tell that the zone.
I know, right? Tell that to Paramount Plus. 720 in there finally fixed their play and pause button. Finally, after 2 years. It took them giving Serie A cheaper contract. God, what a bunch of losers.
Hey, they had a bigger budget for the technicals.
They had that bigger budget for the tech. But on that note, everybody, we shall see you on Thursday, a half hour earlier than what today's time is. But we shall see you then. So, adios, muchachos.